Hello and welcome to another vacuum cleaner review on my channel, iBasiac. Well, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not really sure. Some of you may have wondered, possibly you haven't, but for those who have wondered what my channel stands for, I'll tell you now. Well, the name comes from an old slogan from the Hoover Company to describe their upright vacuum cleaners. And it stands for "It beats as it sweeps as it cleans." So there we go, that's filled in a bit of detail for you in case you've ever wondered, what does that mean? Why has he called his channel that? Of course, nowadays Hoover cleaners don't, on the whole, beat as they sweep as they clean. They sweep as they suck, as they fall to bits and then end up in landfill in around a year or so. But such is the modern world. Well, some vacuum cleaners do last a little bit longer than a year. And if you want some quality vacuum cleaners, especially if you live in the UK, I would suggest looking at companies from Germany, such as Miele and SIBO. There are some good ones that are reliable too. Pneumatic, who make the famous Henry, they tend to be quite reliable. But anyway, the Germans tend to make, on the whole, reliable products. And this is one of them. This is a Miele S164 upright, well, it's not really an upright, it's more of a stick cleaner. It's also known as, I believe, the Quickstep in the United States. It might be known as other things in other countries, but at the moment you can't buy this in the UK. The UK did get a version of this a few years back in a mint green colour, which Miele called the Alternative. And basically it's exactly the same as this one that I'm showing you, apart from it didn't have the silver accent colour here. I think it was black here. The body was mint green. Had the two cleaning tools attached, just the same as this one does. It has your upholstery nozzle and a crevice nozzle. Also came with a standard carpet and floor nozzle on the end. One major difference though that this machine has that the Alternative didn't have, and I did have a Miele Alternative a few years back. I saw this, I was in Hungary. I have a friend who's got an apartment in Budapest, and I was finding the whole trip a bit boring. I thought, no, I'm not going to those baths that they have, I'm not stripping off and exposing myself, and I was feeling a bit down in the dumps until we took the tram to, I don't know, it's somewhere past Octagon. Any of you know Budapest and know where I'm talking about. Anyway, they had this mall and it's got this store called Media Markt or something. Media Market, I think it means. Anyway, it's basically an electrical store like our Currys in the UK. So I went in there and saw this and thought, yes, that'll fit in my suitcase, I'm having one. So this came back all the way from Budapest to Yorkshire, England. And the reason I wanted this, for one small tiny difference that this machine had that my Miele Alternative didn't. And I'll show you. It had this. Now that is a power take-off socket. Now the Alternative in the UK just had a blank piece there, so you could not fit one of Miele's power heads to this cleaner. So it was basically a straight suction stick vacuum. But now I can actually fit a power head, such as this Electro Plus. This is the model SEB216. You can also fit the other Miele powerhead, the bigger one they do, with the headlight. So it just fits onto the end. So it converts this straight suction vacuum into more like a miniature lightweight upright with its own separate motor with a revolving brush. So that's why I bought it. That's why I came back from Hungary with a vacuum cleaner. Managed to fit it in my suitcase. I don't know what they would have made of it when they scanned it. Now of course it wouldn't have had a UK plug on, it had a 2-pin plug, but mine has now got this adapter that you can buy online. eBay sold this. It's a bit bulky, but enables you to put the original plug, which is moulded on. You just open up this plug, the original one clips in, you screw it closed, and it turns it into a 3-pin fused UK plug. The voltage is the same for the UK and Europe, so it works just like it would work with the regular plug. So anyway, I've had this for quite a while, a few years, haven't done a review, and it was unboxed in Hungary, and that's long before I started unboxing things on YouTube, so there's no unboxing video. We'll just have a demo of this and an overview. I've got some extra bits and pieces for this. I bought a separate hose and some other tools, which really does make this a very versatile little vacuum cleaner. But I'll be showing you all that in my review. So I'll be doing some performance testing with this machine on carpets and hard floors. I'll be comparing this nozzle with the power nozzle that you can fit to it and seeing how it performs on stairs and all over the home. But it's quite light, it's quite quiet. This is a 1500 watt maximum motored vacuum, and it's really very good for whipping around if you've got a smaller home or flat, or you just need a second cleaner just to whip around quickly and you don't want to go for one of those cordless machines that are becoming very popular now. You can go for this corded version. Miele so far haven't dipped their toes into the cordless market, but time will see if they do. The only cordless cleaner you can get at the moment from Miele is their new robotic vacuum, but in fact that's not manufactured by Miele. Miele have got another company to make that for them, and it just has a Miele badge on. Same as their refrigeration, in case you didn't know, they're not made by Miele either. They're made by another company who supply Miele. Anyway, enough of this. Let's take a closer look at this Miele Quickstep, and then I'll take it for a spin on my bag of filth. So here we have the Miele S164 1500 watt stick vacuum cleaner, made in Germany. So starting at the bottom we have the standard Miele carpet and floor head with Miele's click fit system, so everything clicks together neatly and securely on a Miele vacuum. And to release this head, all I have to do is press that and it releases easily. Moving on up, there's a bag check indicator that will turn orange as the bag fills, and it will pulsate up and down as you're using the machine. As the suction becomes restricted, the window develops a little orange doobry thing that comes along. I don't know what it's called. It's a piston thing anyway that works on the air pressure. Further up we have a little silver button to give you access into the bag compartment. I'll show you that shortly. And then one of the two on-off buttons. You've got one down here and one up there. That's very useful. It's in two positions. It depends how you're using the machine. Either switch operates the machine. So you start it off, it starts in minimum. This is a twin motored vacuum. If you push it again, it goes to full power. And as you move it, you see at the top moves as well. So you can control it from lower down, or I can control it from higher up. These are the tools you get as standard. Two onboard tools that fit neatly onto the handle. At the top of the handle we've got another Miele quick release switch there, and if I turn it round you can see we've got the handle. It's quite a comfortable shape, and we've also got here just a slightly rubberized end, so it means you can lean it up against the wall and it shouldn't fall over. You can just park it briefly in front of the wall, and because it's a rubberized grip there, it stops it from sliding down. On the back we have your cord storage, which has a quick release hook at the bottom only, so you can release the whole cable. There we go, that all comes down. And at the top here we've got a little recess that enables you to click the cable there to keep it out of the way. Now you can adjust the height of the machine. Got a button here because it's a telescopic tube, and you can press the button. So if you're very tall or you're very short, it doesn't matter because you can adjust that. You can take the handle out altogether, the tube out altogether, by pressing on this button, and you can use it in two different ways, and I'll show you that when I'm not holding the camera. That's obviously where the cable comes out of the machine. Comes out or goes in, however you like to look at it. Here's the back. Let's lay it down, it's easier. Now behind here we have the filter. I've upgraded this one to HEPA, but it does normally come with a standard air clean filter. But if I can open it, there we go. This one is quite black now with the carbon dust, but this is a HEPA filter that I bought as an optional extra. That's the side that actually is the last side that the air passes through, and you can see that's still pretty clean. That's the side that gets all the carbon dust and motor, but the side that's exhausted out, still pretty good, pretty clean that. But you can see here some of the dust has passed through the dust bag. Dust bags supplied with these cleaners aren't as good as the later bags. They've never bothered really upgrading the bags on these. So the motors, the suction motor is situated behind that grill. Actually no, I think that's the way to do it. Pop it in there first, and then I can pop that back on. Last thing to show you on the machine, until I do some demos, is the bag. It's quite a small bag, as you'd expect. So it opens up. Now inside here, just get that up, everything has a Hoover air freshener in. What's that one? Summer Meadow, yummy. Summer Meadow on a cold winter's day in the United Kingdom. Now I'm still using these are the older version bags. They have upgraded them slightly, but not much. I think all they've done is change the colour of the collar. Oops, Daisy. Yes, as you can see, don't try and do it. Don't try and get the bag out with one hand. It really needs two hands. You really should pull it out like that. So it should, when you're doing it properly, that should close up and you won't get all this mess. But never mind, I'll tip that out in a minute. And I was going to see, oh dear, I brought them down. I was going to show you some new dust bags. These are Intensive Clean Plus ones. The new ones have a yellow collar. Miele colour coordinated all their dust bags, so you'd either get a yellow collar for this type of cleaner. They do a green collar, a blue collar and a red collar. So whichever vacuum cleaner you buy now, all you have to do is make sure it has the same coloured collar. So for these models it is a yellow collar. I've left my new pack of bags upstairs, but it's basically the same as this. So I'll just have to get rid of all that. But anyway, while we've got the bag out, I'll show you the bag compartment. And there's a final, well, a pre-motor filter, not a final filter, a pre-motor filter here. Just a small little thing. Has got some dog hair on it, so it has passed through the bag. So I found there is dust in this dust compartment. Most of the Miele's I've got, the bags that are fitted to them are very good for filtering the dirt, and you do not get any sort of dust in the dust compartment, but not with this model. But still, the dust coming out of the machine, I think it'd be pretty clear, pretty clean after it passes through the final HEPA filter. So that's that. So I'll have to tip all that up, give that a wipe out, and start with the demo. And first things first, we'll go into the kitchen and see how this works on my kitchen floor. Welcome to my kitchen floor, covered in a load of mess. Now I've put down the sort of things I normally put down for these sort of demonstrations. Lots of different sized particles to see how the cleaner will cope. So here we've got a mixture of salt, flour, couscous, rice, porridge oats, and a new one today. I've got some dried pasta pieces. I have a feeling they're going to be too large to be sucked up. They'll just be pushed along the front of the nozzle. The cleaner will pick them up, but I'll just have to angle the nozzle upwards to allow this to go into the airstream. But I'm using the standard nozzle that's supplied with this machine on its hard floor setting with the brushes down. I'm going to pass the machine back and forward through the middle, and we'll see what sort of result we get. Now I'm going to use the highest setting on this machine. Twin speed, I'm going to use the highest speed. as predicted, if I move the nozzle forward, you'll see, whoops, not one single piece of the dried pasta has been sucked into the machine, but I did expect that. They're far too large to go underneath the brush without me having to tilt. They will go up the nozzle. Let's just see anyway. We'll just see if we can get a couple of these with the nozzle tilted. So it will suck them up, but you just need to tilt the nozzle back slightly so it will snowplow the larger particles. But apart from that, I'm not sure if you could see on camera, it's done a very good job. It was pulling in dirt, the smaller particles anyway. It was pulling them in from the sides, and it was pulling in from the front before the machine actually got to the area, so it proves it's a powerful machine. So all in all, that's a very good result, apart from the largest of particles. I mean, there are a couple of odd bits here and there, but on the whole, certainly the finer particles, it's dealt with fantastically. One little test I'll do, I'll just move the camera over onto this pile and we'll just see if it makes any difference. This is the supplied head. I'm going to put Miele's Parquet Twister head on and see if it'll do any better, especially let's see if it'll pick up these larger particles without having to angle the head. This is the Miele Parquet Twister nozzle that you can buy as an optional extra to fit this machine and all current Miele vacuums. They do this version and they do an XL version, which is slightly wider if you've got a very large area to clean. It's a very flexible nozzle, so it's ideal for getting in gaps, especially in kitchens where you might have gaps in between your appliances or between a unit and the wall. You might have a little gap where you can actually angle this as you're using it, so it'll go in that way as opposed to full on. So say you've got a small area, you can't get the nozzle in, you can twist it and go in sideways. It's got very big opening at the bottom, so it should pick up larger particles with no problem. And it's got a nice soft brush that goes around the full circumference of the nozzle. And it's castellated, which means basically, if you turn it upside down, if you can imagine an old-fashioned castle that used to have the slits in the wall where they could point their bow and arrows or their cannons, well, that's what this head has, to enable larger particles to pass through the brush and into the airstream. But I'm still not sure. You never know. If they're going right, they might actually go through, but I have a feeling it might snowplow these large particles as well. But again, it will pick them up. I just have to angle the head back. Anyway, I'll fit the Parquet Twister. Again, very simple to do. Here's the end of the cleaner. Just fits on with a push. Turn it until it clicks, and now that is locked on until I press the release button. So again, I'm going to be on full power and I'll pass the Parquet Twister head directly through the middle of the dirt. As I predicted, it still hasn't been able to pick these up, but for everyday particles that fall on the floor, such as anything really larger than rice, cat litter, it should be fine on. These are quite large particles, but like I say, it will pick them up, as you'll see. Turn it over, you can see that it's actually picked those up, so we'll get everything in the end. It just might need a little bit of help, but this is an excellent nozzle. I'll just do a demo with this nozzle, clearing up the rest of the mess and just showing you how absolutely fantastic it is at manoeuvring left and right in between those gaps. So it's very good on hard floors. I'll give it 4.5 out of 5. I'm only deducting half a point because it won't deal with the larger particles unless you tilt the nozzle, but there's not many vacuum cleaners really that will cope with the large particles without having to tilt the head up. So all in all, very good result for this Miele Quickstep. Now there's something you can do if you want to reach under low furniture. I'll just demonstrate this now. There's a little trick with this machine. Excuse the shadow. If you take off the main nozzle and disconnect the extension wand / handle from the end of the machine, and also you need to detach the hand grip. I can now use this as an extension tube because it's just like a Miele telescopic extension tube. You can see all the way through it. So now, instead of it being connected to this end of the machine, I can click it to the suction end. Again, in the same way, just push it until it clicks, and then onto this end I can put any of the larger cleaning tools. Not that any powered tools, the power head won't, well, it would fit on, but it won't rotate. But any of the larger tools, well, any of the tools actually, apart from the power heads, will fit now directly onto the end. So now we can use the machine by holding it by the handle here. So now you've got quite a bit more reach. I can now go low down and go under furniture much easier than I could before. Now I can, as you can see, I can now go under the table easier just by holding the machine here. I can extend the tube a little bit more, so now I've got the flexibility of reaching in those tight spaces with the machine. You can hold it by the handle here, or another little bit of flexibility Miele have given you, you can actually put the handle grip onto the end like this. So now, as you can see, I can hold the machine higher up like that, and now I can use this nozzle like this. So you've got more of the weight of the machine higher up, but it's still very light. This is ideal, of course, for cleaning under your kitchen table, but it's also going to be equally useful for cleaning under your sofa and any low furniture you have in your living areas. Okay, excellent for floors. Let's go and see how the Miele copes on carpets. Well, here I am in the living room now, and I've emptied some of my bag of filth onto the carpet and added a few extra bits for good measure. One additional particle I've added, which I keep forgetting to add, is some sawdust. So if your husband has been doing some remodelling in your home, or building you that sideboard you've always wanted, and he's doing it in your best front room, and there's a lot of sawdust and wood chippings around, well, you'll know that if you get this machine you might be able to pick it up. We don't know yet because I haven't tested it. But apart from the wood shavings and porridge oats and rice that I've added to my bag of filth, we have general household dust, pet hairs, fibres from a new wool rug, just general bits and pieces, little bits of paper, slightly larger piece of paper there. And we're going to pass the Miele Quickstep / alternative / S164 stick vacuum cleaner through the middle and see how it copes with all this mess. Being straight suction, I don't think it's going to do as well as an upright, but to do a comparison immediately after I've tested it with the straight suction, we'll attach the Miele power head. And I'm predicting, if you've seen one of my earlier Miele videos I did on the Revolution cylinder, I think that the power head will do significantly better than the supplied standard nozzle that you get with this machine. But anyway, I think it'll do quite well with a lot of it, but some of it you might just leave. But enough talking, let's get some action. So again, I'm going to go on full power for this job, it needs it. And I'm going to pass the nozzle, let's line it up, there we go, put it there and see how it does. Well, it's had a good stab at it, hasn't it? It's picked up most of the surface litter, most of the wood shavings, the rice, the porridge oats, the salt, but what it has struggled with, and I find that many suction-only vacuum cleaners struggle with, is the hair that tends to stick to the carpet fibres and will not be shifted. Now, I could probably remove all of this, but it's going to take a few more back and forth passes, a bit of work, a bit of effort, but I think eventually the machine will pick this up. But I haven't got time for that, and most people haven't got time for that. And if we look at the nozzle, it's a little bit dirty under there, isn't it? Some bits have stuck. These thread pickers on the underside, these red parts here, they're designed to pick up more difficult dog hair and threads. And it's done some of them, but it's not quite done a very good job, has it? So if you've got pets and you've got this machine, then it's not going to do too well on carpets. I don't know what to rate that, maybe 3. If I didn't put any pet hair down, I could possibly rate it a 4. But for this particular mess, it's a 3. Right, let's go on to a dirty section of the carpet, well, a dirtier section, and I'll pass the Miele through it using the power head, and we'll see if it makes a difference. Now, I've fitted the Miele Electro Plus SEB 216 power head to the end of the cleaner to replace the straight suction nozzle. You can just see this is the path that I attempted to clean with a straight suction, and now I'm going to clean the path next to it using suction plus brushing, thanks to the motorised power brush in this head. Now, I will do it on full power, but I have found in the past that the lower setting is more than adequate to clean up with this nozzle, but because I'm doing a direct comparison, I've got to use the full suction. But I think the results, even on half the suction, will still be twice as good. But anyway, let's have a go, shall we? Well, I think you can see from this direct comparison which nozzle has won this particular battle, and obviously I knew this would be the result. Here is obviously the path I've just cleaned using the Electro Plus head, and here's the path that I attempted to clean using the standard straight suction nozzle. So again, agitation wins every time, especially for difficult items to pick up like pet hair. You really need to get a machine, either an upright with a rotating brush or a cylinder with preferably a power head, or alternatively at least a turbo head, to help remove the dirt. It has, this nozzle's left one tiny wood shaving there, but it's a clean sweep. Here's the underside of the nozzle. And the brushes aren't particularly aggressive on this. They're pretty soft, so if you've got more delicate carpets, this might be an option to go for, because it'll clean but it won't be too damaging. Some carpets can't take a lot of agitation, and you'll find that your dust bag or your bagless container, if your machine's too aggressive, will be full of carpet fluff rather than dirt. So this machine, although it's soft, because the brush rotates at such a high speed, it will clean, but it'll do it in a gentle fashion. So, if you want one of these Mieles, I suggest go for one that has the Electro Plus head as standard. Before we look at the above floor cleaning ability of this Miele, I'm going to clean up the rest of this mess. First of all, I'm going to go over all this section with a straight suction. I'm going to do it as I'd normally clean, back and forth, just to see how clean I can leave the carpet. And if there's anything left, I'll remove that with the Electro Plus head. Again, I'm going to go on full power, so here goes. Now if you didn't have pets to clean up after, it would do a good job. But as you can see, there is still pet hair left on the carpet. It's clumped it up a bit, it's rolled it up, but it'll take quite a lot of effort to get all this off the carpet. That effort will be removed as soon as I attach this nozzle. So here we go with the Electro Plus nozzle, but this time I think I'm going to try it on the lower setting because I think it's not going to need as much suction. The brush will be doing most of the work. So we're going to go on minimum. So there we go. Just a few moments ago, this carpet was absolutely caked in muck. But now, thanks to the Miele, it's clean, the pile has been groomed, and there's not a trace of dirt left. That is not the result I would have got with the standard head, as you saw, but using Miele's Electro Plus head, it's done a fantastic job. And like I said earlier in the video, you can fit the larger head to this machine too. Miele do a bigger, more aggressive head with a headlight, slightly wider. But this one still, despite the fact it's a smaller head, a bit less powerful, it still does a fantastic job. So this Miele gives sterling performance on hard floors, very good on carpets if you haven't got pets to clean up after, or excellent on carpets if you use the power head version. But how can I clean the likes of my sofa, my stairs, my car even? It's an upright vacuum cleaner, there's no hose. Will it still cope with other jobs around the house? Well, yes, it will, thanks to the two onboard tools that we get. We get the crevice tool and the upholstery brush, but you can also buy any number of different accessories that fit this machine to make it a lot more versatile. I've now converted the Miele S164 into handheld mode. I've removed the adjustable extension wand / handle, and to the end I've taken off the main nozzle and fitted the upholstery nozzle. So now I've got a handheld cleaner, although yes, it's quite a large handheld cleaner, but it's still okay for doing your stairs and for doing your upholstery. It might be a little bit bulky and heavy to use in your car, but as you can see, I can clean my upholstery quite well with it. And for upholstery, I don't need my full power for this. I'll just do minimum setting. So in addition to the small head you get supplied, I can fit directly onto the end the crevice nozzle. It's a little bit of a short one this, you can get longer ones, but that again will fit directly onto the end of the machine. So now I can do all those nooks and crannies and do down the side of my chairs. So as you can see, it's fine for cleaning upholstery, but what if I want to do high up? What if I want to do the tops of my bookshelves, my curtain rails, pelmets, or to reach those pesky cobwebs? Well, this is where the versatility of this machine comes to its fore, having this metal extension tube. Now it's quite short compared to the extension tube you'd be used to if you have a Miele cylinder cleaner. It's probably about the same size you'd get on the Miele upright version. So it's not quite as long, but it still gives you an extended reach. Again, it just fits on here. Nice, satisfying click. And to the end, I could attach any of the small nozzles, such as a dusting brush. You don't actually get the dusting brush with it, but you can buy them as an option. This one is Miele's universal brush, so it's a longer dusting brush than the smaller, rounder one you can get. But it's very good for doing tops of cupboards and things, because you can angle it like this. I can angle it down and I can fit it directly on the end of the tube like this. So now I can reach up high and do some high cleaning. And as well as reaching up high with a simple twist of the nozzle, I can clean down low, such as along the top of my skirting board. And now by attaching the crevice tool to the end, I can do all those nooks and crannies. Stair cleaning isn't as difficult as you may think with this Miele, because of course I can take off the handle and hold the machine as a large handheld cleaner using the built-in handle here, and I can just attach the main floor nozzle onto the end, or if you prefer you can attach the small nozzle, but this one will do the job a lot quicker. But of course, if you want really clean stairs and you have the power head option, you can attach, of course, the power head to the end, and now I can use the power head on my stairs. It's quite heavy, but it's not that difficult, certainly easier than some vacuum cleaners. I purchased this optional hose a few weeks ago for this machine, and it really increases its versatility tenfold. It now becomes a small compact cylinder cleaner, so you can have it on the ground like that. It'll even pull along if you want to drag it along behind you, and it's got a good length of hose, about as long as you'd get on a standard Miele cylinder, but now you're a lot more flexible. You can actually take the power of the Miele, and it's a lot lighter to hold in your hand, so you can do the inside of your car far easier using the hose. And I can attach any number of nozzles. For example, I've got Miele's Turbo Mini nozzle here, so I could use that for deep cleaning my car seats, deep cleaning my stairs. If you don't want to use the power nozzle, or you don't have the power nozzle, if you have the hose, it's light enough to carry the machine in one hand and direct the nozzle in the other. So if you do have one of these Miele machines and you think, well, it's good but it could be better, believe you me, if you buy the optional hose, I'm not sure how much it costs in other countries, I believe this cost me about £23 in the UK, but it's well worth it. And of course I can attach, if I want to, the extension tube to the end, so again I can reach up high, but I don't have to be holding the machine now. I can leave the machine on the floor while I direct the nozzle to the areas that need cleaning. So buying the hose has really made this machine far more versatile. It really is an all-rounder when you have the hose. Well, that's about the end of my review for the Miele S164. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Well, it's a thumbs up, definitely. It's got a few limitations, but on the whole, it's a fantastic machine. It's Miele build quality, it's quiet, it's easy to use, and it does very well on mostly everything I give it to do, apart from pet hairs. But of course, if you don't have pets, this is a machine to go for. If you do have pets, then look for the machines that have got the power head, or you can actually have the power head as an option. It's suitable for two types of people, I think. Either you've got a large house and you want a secondary cleaner to keep upstairs, or just a cleaner to supplement your main vacuum cleaner, this will be excellent. Or if you've got a small house or apartment, this could be your only vacuum cleaner. I suggest getting the hose is a must buy. If you want to extend the reach, extend the versatility of the machine if you want to clean your car, if you want to get into those little nooks and crannies that it might be a little bit difficult to get into with the main unit, then the hose is a must buy. I must say, when I bought mine, it just opened my eyes to this machine once again. I hadn't used it very much, but as soon as I bought the hose and started using it with the hose, I thought, this is fantastic. So, all in all, it's a very good machine. It weighs approximately 5 kilograms when it's fully laden. That's with the standard head, not with the power head. It will weigh slightly more with the power head. And the cable is nearly 8 meters long, which is a good reach for a cable. I find upstairs, if I plug a vacuum cleaner into one end of my landing, I can't reach into the far bedroom with most vacuum cleaners unless they've got an 8 meter plus cable. So this one will reach, so it's fine for that, so I'm not having to unplug all the time. So despite the fact it's a smaller vacuum, Miele have provided you with a nice length of cable. All in all, it's a shame you can't buy this in the UK anymore, but if you're ever in Europe and you fancy bringing this back in your luggage, I'd give it a go. Of course, you can still buy this in Germany. Other European countries sell it. And of course, it is available in the good old US of A. Anyway, for me and the Miele, it's goodbye. Hope you've enjoyed the review. Hope you found it interesting. And I'll see you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and you'll be updated every time I upload a new review or vacuum cleaner related video. See you soon.